Shalom. Giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwarash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. Going into news and prophecy, all right, linking the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures, so that the elect, the remnant, can be comforted, all right, as we are in these plagues and perils. All right, they're going to lead to Jacob's trouble, all right, and ultimately to our deliverance, as we have to go through the straight gate, all right, to get to the wide, which is the kingdom. All right, so prepare to keep your integrity, prepare to lose particular comforts, but at the same time, prepare to put your trust, all right, in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and be comforted by the word sent by his prophets, all right, which ultimately the Lord has sent prophets in every age and all of our captivities as well, to pretty much, give you the understanding of what's to come. And, that acts as ultimately the Heavenly Father, having favor, on our people. When you see the prophets, the Lord is reaching out his hand, he's extending his voice, all right, through his only begotten Son, through the Holy Spirit, which is given unto men. And here in these latter days, you have the 144,000, all right, which some of those men are here on earth. All right, those are the servants, the prophets, the friends, all right, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, who have the secrets. And pretty much, as the scriptures tell you, this gospel will be preached, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth. We know the internet is the primary tool using to push this word, all right, and then the end would come, all right. And when you read Revelation, the 14th chapter, the new song, there is a call, is a warning, all right, to our people to repent, all right, come back to Yahweh, all right, through the sacrifice made by Yahweh Shai, okay, because judgment is coming, all right, not to take, all right, the charagma, not to bow to this man's image, see, and to ultimately fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So the prophets have been sent in all ages to warn before the impending doom, all right, which was foretold came. And we know in these times, America, which is Babylon the Great, is on its way out. The devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. World War III is on the horizon. They're setting up this digital hub in the form of the modern day Tower of Babel, you see, to draw everyone in, all right, to the snare that they're setting, you see. And we see many things happening in the planet Earth. There's so much going on. It's hard to report on everything. Well, this is why we have a body, you see. But we're literally in, all right, an active ritual, all right, which, some people say pressure from above, pressure from below, all right, order ab chaos, all right, which pretty much is order out of chaos, all right, where ultimately they are able to bring an order out of a chaotic situation, all right, but the order is ultimately coming from them, just as well as the problem that was created. Problem, reaction, solution. Okay, and we're witnessing the Biden administration, okay, bring millions, all right, of migrants into the U.S., right? We're witnessing this happen, all right? We're witnessing all manner of confusion. We're witnessing, crime, and all manner of things, stem from this, which this is all being done on purpose, all right? Trump, which, those two, that left-right paradigm, we see those things all clashing. And this is all being done by design. They're all in on it, all right? But Trump called, Biden a traitor, saying he lambasted Biden administration immigration policies aiming to replace American voters with illegal immigrants, all right? And we know these illegal immigrants or illegal migrants, should I say, are over here. They're getting aid, and pretty much we know that they're going to get the charagma. They're going to be sent to war. It's all manner of, they're killing many birds with one stone. But we're clearly at the point, all right, where things are getting so chaotic, as this FBI director warns, all right, that dangerous individuals have entered into the U.S. All right, so they're creating this scare. We're seeing crime, all right, confusion, and all of these things arise due to all of these so-called migrants over here. Then you have the already crazies over here in Babylon committing crime, doing evil. All right. As the scriptures foretell you, this would be a place of mass confusion. A lot of mingled people will be over here, but he's warned that, dangerous individuals have entered into the U.S. And we have had dangerous individuals enter into the United States, have a variety of sources. Ray said at the annual Worldwide Threats congressional hearing, at which the U.S. heads of the U.S. intelligence agencies testified, we are seeing a wide array of various dangerous threats that emanate from the border, he said, citing drug trafficking in particular. All right, the FBI alone seized enough fentanyl to last 2 years, all right, to kill 270 million people, he said. All right, and, of course, theft, and many other scares can come from this, you see. So the solution to everything that they're openly allowing, all right, is going to be, more force, coming down with great wrath, taking away rights, and also artificial intelligence, you see. So let's check this out. It begins, Army troops take over New York City.
Looks like a war zone down here. But people are wondering, what happens when the troops pull out? Will the criminals come back, or are things going to be like this for a long time?
Governor Hochul says she's deploying the National Guard.
See, they were able to deploy the National Guard, and eventually martial law will be declared where, okay, your everyday civil affairs are going to be, dictated and policed by, all right, a higher form of military. You see? And we know where it's all going. All right. And pretty soon, you won't have a constitution. Pretty soon you won't, which you really already don't. You won't have any rights. And we know that ultimately they want to set up a technocracy. So they've been able to, by unrighteous decrees, push their agenda. All right. But through scare tactics and situations that they've created. All right. They are here policing the subway, all right, because of the crime that has come, all right, from the influx of immigrants or migrants. I keep saying immigrants, migrants, all right. They've been able to, justify, bringing army troops, all right, to handle everyday civil affairs, okay? And this is getting ready to happen all over the Americas. All right. But synonymously, all right, the other solution is going to be artificial intelligence. See, as the way of governing, as the way of, surveilling and everything else. So let's just look at a little bit more of this and we'll get some other stuff as well. Now, let's get a scripture real quick. All right. This is the book of Psalm 62 and 3. I start at 2. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. And we can't be moved at the things that we're getting ready to see. See, a lot of people are going to be taken back. They're not going to understand why. All right, because the American dream that they imagined is over. All right. And we have to come to the conclusion, all right, of that as well. All right. But we understand what's happening. They're collapsing the system purposely, and they're getting ready to establish a new system. Okay. And to get there, they need a chaotic situation so that they can bring their order, which brings them closer to what they want. Okay. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. See, and they're imagining mischief against a man. Let's look at this word mischief. This is all mischief. See, but it's all under the guise, all right, of saving the situation, bringing safety, peace. Ha-thath. All right. It says to shout at, to be frantic, to break in, to overwhelm, to imagine mischief. All right, let's look up the word mischief in this way. All right, because this is a mischievous thing that they're doing. All right, and they're going to break in, overwhelming the people through fear tactics, through destroying the economy, and everybody's pretty much already on their knees. But you just wait until it gets worse. People are going to be looking for the solution to the problems. You see, this is where we're going to have to tap into the Holy Spirit even more than ever. The just shall live by his faith. It says playful misbehavior or trouble making, especially in children. All right. And the scriptures talks about children are their oppressors. All right. Which we know our own youth oppress, the elderly, and are destroying these neighborhoods. But this big child, this big naughty, mischievous child has control over the whole entire planet Earth. All right. And he's into all manner of evil and wicked practices. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, he's a troublemaker. Naughty. Okay. How long will you imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain, all of you Edomites, and you heathen who have joined unto them. As a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. All right, and this is where we are. All right, they delight in lies. They bless with their mouth. All right, we need but inwardly they have a plan.
To city subway stations to keep riders safe.
The subway system is averaging about 6 felonies every day.
This will be on top of the 1,000 additional police officers Mayor Eric Adams deployed to the subways in February.
There's a psychological impact. People worry they could be next.
The New York Civil Liberties Union calling it heavy-handed, like stop and frisk.
I think it has to be done carefully. I feel like it can both be a good thing to help us, but you could be stereotyping certain people as well.
What was it like getting your back checked?
Perfectly fine. The criminals are actually on the subway cars, so get on the cars and ride the subway.
New York, you recognize it is not normal to have the United States Army patrolling your streets, right? But the even more wild thing is watching your government pretend they don't know why they have a crime problem.
And they set up, stations like Fox News to say particular things that are true, although it's all controlled. And this is their way of telling you, we told you. All right. This is their way of saying, well, we told you what we were doing. All right. And then that's their way to set up the right and tie, particular people with particular opinions to this group, that group, and, ultimately target you and categorize you.
So the bag checks are random. And we've got police, we've got state troopers, we've got the National Guard. Every type of law enforcement available to the state has been deployed in the New York City subways as a show of power to tell criminals. What are they telling criminals? They're not in the actual subway cars. Now look, I took the subway today. I'm very happy to see an increased security presence. It makes me feel safer. And the reason this is happening is because subway crime was up 20% before this deployment. But observe.
See, he feels safer. Okay, how much more as things get worse and worse and worse, all right, and they come with even more solutions, all right, that don't involve physical, troops. It's going to involve digital surveillance. It's going to involve you having to enter your biometrics into this new hub that they have created in order to live, in order to feel safe, in order to have your ID protected. Okay, it's all kind of cyber attacks. Okay, it's all manner of confusion going on right before us, man.
First say that all of this militarization of the subway isn't actually going to do anything because it's not addressing the real reasons why New York City is going through a crime wave. On top of that, everyone knows this program is temporary. The troops and extra police are not able to be here forever, and the criminals are...
So if they're not able to be there forever, what's the next solution? All right, well, let's listen to Jordan Peterson tell you what they're doing in China.
This is going to happen here, I think, too, although maybe people will fight it. So in China, for example, if a traffic camera catches you jaywalking in China, the digital ID system has your blood now, has your genetic code. It can identify how you walk.
They have your blood, they have your genetic code. See?
It will convict you of jaywalking and take money out of your bank account with no intermediating judiciary at all, and show a picture of you to the people in the neighborhood so they know that you have jaywalked, and reduce your social credit score. And if your social credit score falls below a certain level, you can't buy drinks from a vending machine, you can't play video games, you can't go on a train, you can't get out of your 15-minute city. They're microchipping welding machines in China now, so you won't be able to use a welding machine without scanning your face. They have locked down knives in China. Knives are literally chained to the counter.
Oh, like at the bank or something, you mean?
No, in your house. All that's already in place in China.
Do you think that would be helpful or unhelpful?
It would make George Orwell's 1984 look like a picnic.
Everyone that has a side hustle will be...
Okay, and we'll get to this video as well. But you saw it, all right? This is these are the times we're living in, all right, where this beast system, all right, is getting ready to come down as a dragon, all right? Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb. Okay, again, the two horns, this bipartisan system. And we always show you that this word horns, karas, all right, is someone that is acting as a mighty or valiant helper, the author of deliverance of the Messiah. See? So they've use these systems to put themselves, present all of these problems to you, present all of these, this information to you, but then they set people up to act as, all right, the ones who have the solution. All right, and many people have bought into this. All right, so they have the two horns like a lamb. See? And they spake as a dragon. Speaking as a dragon is what's next, and it's already here. All right, draconian, harsh, all right, method of rule, which you won't have any rights. And this is going to lead, all right, to the very system that they already have set up in China to a degree. All right, that if you're not in line, all right, with the program, if you don't meet, all right, the goal, your social credit score is, below a particular number, they have the ability to lock you out of the world, and you won't be able to buy or sell. See? And this is where it's all going. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, then that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, and we clearly see that everything is going digital. AI is pretty much going to be the end-all be-all of what they want, artificial intelligence. See? As you can see, EU Parliament becomes world first to regulate AI. Okay, and what AI, he has this brain, all right, pretty much in his hand, and that's what the elites want. All right, they want your soul, all right, in their control, under their control. Okay, the European Union's Parliament on Wednesday endorsed the world's first major set of regulatory ground rules to govern, all right, the mediatized artificial intelligence at the forefront of tech investment. Okay, so this is where it's all going. I mean, we don't have to go too deep into it. Visa says Palm biometric payments have a promising future. Okay, this is where it's all going. Okay, this is going to be the new system. All right, we talked about at camp the Internet of Bodies. All right, your biometrics, all right, are going to be merged with AI, all right, in order to, create a more safer system as all manner of things are happening. All right, and there's as we say, so much happening, it's hard to even keep up with it. All right, BRICS to create blockchain-based payment system, Putin 8, all right, which Putin is down with the NWO agenda as well. All right, but they just, have differences of opinions. All right, because Russia is going digital as well. All right, but these BRICS groups, these different nations who were, joining together to opt out of dealing, in the dollar, all right, they're even going digital. So no matter what happens, no matter where you look, no matter where you go, okay, this system that was foretold in the Holy Scriptures by our forefather John the Revelator, it's upon us. All right, and you could laugh and mock, but ultimately we're in the point where, all right, it's in our face. It says the measure would be in line with the group's plans to cut reliance on Western currencies and financial mechanisms, but it's all leading towards the same thing: digital money. See, it all sounds good, but when in the grand scheme of things, it's just the elites ultimately, just giving you a show. All right, they're all aiming towards the same goal. All right, the BRICS group of emerging economies plan to create a payment system based on digital technologies. See? I mean, everything's going digital. Okay, we ain't got to read too much on that. You can read up on more of it if you want to. All right. But this biometric visa says Palm biometric payments have a promising future. This is the future. All right. Payments giant Visa showcased its Pay by Palm biometric payment technology at an event marking the transformation of its Singapore Innovation Center last week. All right. During the event, visitors were invited to use the palm reader and to link their signature to their payment card for a transaction. The future of biometric payments is promising and set to revolutionize the retail experience. Okay, because this is how you're ultimately in the future going to buy and sell. As all right, of course, it's a what's the word I'm looking for? All right, it's a little early, but gradual. It's a gradual, all right, push towards that mark. Okay, so we're here, man. We're definitely here, And again, the mockers, the scoffers, the scorners, you're starting to see that they're scrambling. All right, they're turning to gimmicks. They're changing the doctrine. They're getting more weird. All right, but ultimately they're gonna have to, as it says in the book of Ezekiel, the 12th chapter. Let's get that real quick. See, they're gonna have to deal. Okay, in your day. Let's see, O rebellious house. See if I can find it. What is that proverb? No, it's Ezekiel. What is that proverb? No, it's Ezekiel. Ezekiel 12 and 22. Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have heard in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? Okay? And at this time, the prophets were telling them, look, the Babylonians are going to roll on y'all. They're going to roll on y'all. And they kept saying, look, man, whatever. Tell them, therefore, thus said the Lord God, I will make this proverb to cease. And what are the proverbs that Jake is throwing out there now? They're mocking. Oh, y'all fear-mongering. Oh, the chip ain't this. Oh, we ain't, telling you Israelites not to even worry about the chip. Telling you Israelites to take the juice. Pretty much you don't have to worry about these things that the true prophets are trying to warn you of. See? I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. See? The effect of every vision. All right, let's get 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter. We're witnessing the effects, all right, of the visions that the prophet saw. 2nd Esdras 9. And let's just get to the point. 5. For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so also the times of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. And we're witnessing those effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. So we're going to have to what? Apply faith in the form of our works. All right. The just shall live by his faith. But as you can see, many of our people, they don't have faith. Although you have these camps with these large numbers, you know, they look the part, you know, they all matching. In the grand scheme of things, they're not preparing you for what's really happening. See? This is what we're to tell you. All right. Ezekiel 12:24. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am Yahweh, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass, and it shall no more be prolonged. In your days, O rebellious house, I will say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord your power. See, and it's all being performed. See, it's being performed. We are here. Where do you think this is all going? Why are they so interested in your biometric? All right, because what does biometric mean? All right, your genetic makeup. Okay, relating to involving the application, all right, of statistical analysis to biological data. All right, well, what is biological? All right, the biology is the study of the body at the end of the day. Bio. All right. Basically your life, living beings. All right. And we see this system being set up, all right, like never before, man. All right. And there's so many issues that are being presented to you. All right. And the solutions are all going to be, all right, as they enforce this technocracy, is all going to be based upon science and technology. That's going to be the answers to all of these issues that we are witnessing. All right. They're destroying the food. All right. As you can see, Biden escalates war on food, as we've seen. All right. Even before 2020, but especially from 2020 till now, we've seen a mass amount of, you know, food production industries be destroyed. Farming is being destroyed. There's a war on farmers. They're being put out of business. That's your access to food, see? But now artificial intelligence is taking over that platform. As a matter of fact, I have this video. Young sister cries after realizing the American dream is a fantasy. Yes, it is. All right. Maybe we'll jump to that. I was looking at something somebody sent me. Let's see if I can find it here. See if I can find it. Boom, here we go. How robots harvest millions of acres of farmland every day.
Save money, save the environment.
Save money, save the environment.
Have you ever stopped to think about how the food on your plate gets there? It's a long journey, from seeds sown in the earth to fresh produce gracing your table. But what if we told you that millions of acres of farmland are now being harvested, not by human hands, but by robots? Fortunately, this is the reality of modern agriculture. So how do these robotic harvesters work? What are the challenges and benefits of this technology?
See, and what does this do? I mean, you can look at it. All right, but this is putting, you know, actual people out of jobs. That's what's happening. AI is pretty much taking over all of these jobs. See, real quick before we get back to the food aspect. All right. Check this out. All right. Because, farmers are losing their jobs. Okay. People, physical human manpower is no longer needed in the world that they plan to bring. See? Who buys the food when no one has a job? Looks like we're all going to start having to grow our own food at this point. I feel sorry for the generations after us because millions of jobs will be lost. See, they're collapsing the system. As the scriptures say, let's get Isaiah the 19th chapter. It's not going to be any work for Egypt because AI is the answer now. Human beings are useless. Let's see here. Isaiah 19:8, the fishers shall mourn, and all they that cast angle into the brook shall lament, because the waters are all dried up, they're not making any money. And they that spread nets upon the water shall languish. All right, this is people out of work. All right, a financial collapse, economic collapse. Moreover, they that work in the flax and they that weave network shall be confounded. All right, all of these systems and corporations are being shut down. Okay? And they that be broken in the purposes thereof, all that make sluices in ponds for fish. Let's read this in the NLT. All right. They will be in despair, and all the workers will be sick at heart. See? They will be in despair, and all the workers will be sick at heart. All right, jumping down. And where are the wise men? All right, all of the, this place ain't going to be saved. Verse 14, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err, and every work thereof as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Okay? And that day shall Egypt be like unto women, as you see this particular woman here. She's crying. See if we can pull her up. She's crying.
So don't miss out on any of the news coverage. So let's get to the video with the young sister here. And she's kind of going to represent
America. I'm literally filing my taxes. I have done everything right. I made it to earn 6 figures. I made it there. I worked so hard.
And she's making 6 figures and complaining. Okay? It's getting hard out here. And this is all being purposely done. Like, really, we don't have to listen to her because she really doesn't have anything to do with this topic I'm talking about, because we're talking about people losing jobs, but even people that are working, we're witnessing perplexity. See? But the purpose is, the squeeze that the elites are putting into the earth, everybody's feeling it. And eventually people are going to be looking for solutions. All right. Now, check this out as well. Dealing with that whole, there shall be no work. And you can check this video out, Africa Diaspora. Young sister cries after realizing the American dream is a fantasy. It's over. All right. And they that put their trust in Egypt are over. So what's the solution? Turn into Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and repenting, man. That's the only thing, the living by faith. All right? It's over. But check this out.
Everyone that has a side hustle will be affected.
Change is coming for millions of gig workers, and that goes into effect in March.
They're trying to push it down into a minimum wage job. You should get paid by tips.
This also includes people that drive for Uber, Lyft, and even DoorDash.
Well, under this law, Uber gets to avoid paying their workers when they do not have someone in their vehicles.
Everything goes into an effect March 11, 2024. Here's what you need to know right now.
Now, in tandem, the Labor Department also rescinding a Trump-era rule today that had broadened the classification of independent contractors. The revamped rule means easier access to benefits, protections, overtime, higher wages, and more.
The Biden administration issues a rule that could curb gig work and contracting. Let me break down exactly what that means. The U.S. Department of Labor on Tuesday issued a final rule that will force companies to treat some workers as employees rather than less expensive independent contractors, in a move that has riled business groups and will likely prompt legal challenges. The rule is widely expected to increase labor costs for industries that rely on contract labor or freelancers, such as trucking, manufacturing, healthcare, and app-based gig services.
See, on these app-based jobs, like Uber, people, you get paid for a drive. Well, this law, all right, overruling this is going to force these companies to make you an hourly, all right, you're going to have an hourly rate wage. You're going to have health care. They're going to have to treat you as like an actual worker instead of an independent contractor with their system. So what is this going to do? All right, a lot of people are going to lose jobs. And what's going to be the solution? AI. Okay? For places like Uber, well, just like in Arizona, as a brother was talking to me about yesterday, driverless cars are pretty much everywhere. You see them in California here and there. Okay, but these are going to be the new Uber drivers. AI. Okay? Arizona said, and you could look it up. All right, there's videos on it. But pretty much they have driverless cars. Okay? In Arizona.
Waymo is now expanding, rolling into other areas of the valley.
That was always the...
They're also going to drive these trucks. Truck drivers. They're going to, everybody's going to lose out in this new system, and it's going to pretty much have people on their knees rioting, protesting, crying for a solution as well. Okay, this devil is something else, man. He's setting everybody up, all right, for the okie doke, man.
The plan, the driverless cars are then doubling their territory to include Scottsdale, Tempe, Chandler, and Mesa. Fox 10's Brian Webb is live tonight with the details. Brian.
Guys, remember Waymo started here in downtown Phoenix in 2020, began picking up passengers at Sky Harbor Airport last year, and will now hit spots like Old Town Scottsdale and ASU in Tempe. Cars with no drivers. The AI robot revolution is here. Are you ready for a ride?
The Waymo cars?
Yeah.
I'd much rather have a driver in the car.
No, absolutely not. I would hire a horse and a buggy just so that I could see those days come back again.
In 2020, the majority Google-owned business covered 50 square miles across the valley. Now it's up to 180. Riders can feel at home inside a fancy Jaguar, turn up the music or tune out the driver because there isn't one. Aman Nalavadi.
Artificial intelligence, artificial wisdom. It's like a literal being that's being created by the left hand that's going to take over, all right, in this new world. This will be how the new world is ran. This nigga got to say.
He is a Waymo product manager.
And so you can see that in the first 5-10 minutes of the ride, they're pretty excited. And then as the ride goes on, folks kind of go back to doing what you normally do in an Uber, Lyft, taxi, ride sharing, right? Like you start checking your mail, you start feeling really comfortable.
One group leery of a high-tech takeover are Lyft and Uber drivers, realizing robots are coming for their jobs, but not panicked yet.
Not really. Maybe I should be, but no, I'm not, because some of the people that you talk to are actually afraid of it.
I think based on the fact.
Well, what are they going to do when this is the way, all right, and there's nothing they can do about it? People are going to be getting in Uber, all right, getting in cars that are driven by Uber, AI.
That they'd have to tremendously increase their fleet. Okay. And they run those electric Jaguars with all that equipment. That's a pretty heavy cost to come to some break-even point from a pure business perspective.
But just like Uber and Lyft largely killed the taxi cab, Waymo hopes you're ready for robo-taxis.
Now, you heard him. He said basically it's going to cost them so much money to keep up with this technology and have. But ultimately, as this law is being passed, they're going to have to pay. Instead of, these workers just being able to log in, and do 3 drives a day. That's an 8-hour day, but you did 3 drives. Now they're going to have to be treated as actual workers for the company, where they're going to have health care, the union, all of these various different things associated with that work world, the corporate world. These companies are going to now be faced with, okay, do we deal with AI, all right, or are we going to deal with, this particular law, all right, that Biden just banned, that Trump brought forth. So your ability to, just log in and, be an independent contractor for this company, all of that's getting ready to be over with. See? And again, the Biden administration is doing the bidding of the elite, bringing that squeeze, bringing that perplexity. Let's listen to this again.
Now, in tandem, the Labor Department also rescinding a Trump-era rule today that had broadened the classification of independent contractors. The revamped rule means easier access to benefits, protections, overtime, higher wages, and more.
The Biden administration issues a rule that could curb gig work and contracting. Let me break down exactly what that means. The U.S. Department of Labor on Tuesday issued a final rule that will force companies to treat some workers as employees rather than less expensive independent contractors, in a move that has riled business groups and will likely prompt legal challenges. The rule is widely expected to increase labor costs for industries that rely on contract labor or freelancers.
Again, what do you think this is leading to as the solution? What's going to be the solution? Artificial intelligence, baby. Robots.
Such as trucking, manufacturing, healthcare, and app-based gig services. I know that this is crazy news so far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, if you guys don't know, app-based gig services are services like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Uber Eats, so on and so forth, because there's so many apps that people are independent contractors, and they're essentially having these apps replace their jobs, or they have it as a side hustle for additional income.
See, they're shutting down things like TikTok. Okay, they're going to restrict the internet. A lot of people are making money off TikTok. So, I mean, although they're doing a lot to attack free speech, they're also collapsing the economy in many other ways as well, because this is how people make their money.
On top of their jobs, no matter how they have it structured. Let's quickly break down the meaning of a gig worker.
Gig is actually a slang term, meaning a job for a specified period of time. But it's found its way into mainstream business vocabularies as more and more communities trend toward a gig economy. A gig economy is a free market system in which temporary positions are common. Freelancers, independent contractors, project-based workers, and temporary hires all fall under the title gig workers and are found across every industry. Gig employees could be writers, rideshare drivers, photographers, accountants, realtors, handymen, programmers, tutors, artists, dog walkers, really anyone who enters into formal agreements with a company to provide services without being on the company's payroll.
Many of those people will become employees of those same exact companies with new laws and rules.
With new laws and rules brought in by Joe Biden. We told you niggas, man. We told you were going to be crying for Donald Trump when it's all said and done. Did not we say that? Which, to hell with Trump. He's a pawn in the whole grand scheme of things as well. But we told you that this was coming.
Means as an employee of some of these companies, you will also qualify for some of these benefits, like healthcare benefits, paid overtime, and even workman's comp. It also says that most federal and state labor laws, such as those requiring a minimum wage and overtime pay, apply only to a company's employees. Studies suggest that employees can cost companies up to 30% more than independent contractors. The rule will require that workers be considered employees rather than independent contractors when they are economically dependent.
So what's going to be more expensive? Like you heard this dude say, right? Listen to him. See, Americans think everything's going to be all good.
I think based on the fact that they'd have to tremendously increase their fleet, and they run those electric Jaguars with all that equipment. That's a pretty heavy cost to come to some break-even point from a pure business perspective.
But just like...
See? They think, nah, we'll be all right. They ain't going to want to spend all that money on AI and, these driverless cars. Well, on the other hand, all right, they're going to have to start treating all of these people who linked onto their network as independent contractors as actual employees and giving them benefits, giving them this, giving them that, paying them an hourly rate. All right. Ultimately, the solution is going to be artificial intelligence into your everyday life, and it's already starting.
Dependent on the company. Now, California has already put something like this in place not long ago called Prop 22. Let's see how that's going so far.
This is the beginning of the end of worker protections.
Prop 22 is probably the most dangerous labor law that has been passed or voted on in my lifetime.
I'm very disappointed.
Some full-time drivers like myself are doing, I think, something like 90% of the rides.
It's going to be hard to survive.
This is so important, guys, because if you take a look at what has happened in California after the passage of Prop 22, you can really understand and grasp how disastrous this Trump-era rule would have been for workers across the country.
He says that Proposition 22 will make it impossible to earn a living driving full-time.
They're trying to push it down into a minimum wage job. You should get paid by tips.
He's right about that. And unfortunately, after Prop 22 passed, many of the drivers who were promised all sorts of perks and benefits found themselves getting quite the opposite. Well, under this law, Uber gets to avoid paying their workers when they do not have someone in their vehicle. So if they're on the road looking for someone to give a ride to, they're not getting paid for that time.
Now, it's still early in California with their Prop 22, and we'll see if this is also going to have any effect on California in general with this new law. But either way, it still gives us an idea of what things are going to look like in the future. Now, believe it or not, a lot of people are thinking that this is going to be a positive thing, and some people think this is going to be 100% negative. Let's go over a few of the pros and cons of this taking place. Now, there are some pros of this happening, like affordable healthcare benefits, workman's comp, paid overtime, minimum wage salaries, protections like basic insurance while working. You may be able to create a union. You also have unemployment insurance as well as social security benefits. Now, those are most of the pros for people who are essentially looking to have that job feel or that job safety net in a sense, as opposed to being an independent contractor. But that doesn't mean you're not going to have any cons like filing a W-2 versus a 1099. Now, filing a W-2 is not the end of the world, as we all know. However, you're not going to be able to get some of those same deductions that you would as you were when you were an independent contractor. Also, as an employee, the company could also always either lay you off, let people go, fire people, just like any other job. Let's not forget why you started the side hustle in the first place. So you can have your own set hours. That may change as well, depending on how much people are actually working and how long throughout the day that they're working as well. Now, the Labor Department has said that the rule was designed to crack down on industries, including construction and healthcare, where misclassification of workers is common, but its potential impact on app-based delivery and ride-hailing services, whose business models depend on contract/gig labor, has garnered the most attention. Companies including Uber and Lyft have expressed concerns about the rule, but have also said they do not expect it to lead to their drivers being classified as employees. C.R. Wooters, Uber's head of federal affairs, said in a statement that the new rule does not materially change the law under which we operate. Drivers across the country have made it overwhelmingly clear in their comments on this rule and in survey after survey that they do not want to lose the unique independence they enjoy, Wooters said. Now, honestly, I do see some benefits by being the employee of a company, but at the same time, if a person wanted to do that, they would have simply applied for a different type of job. You are essentially taking away their ability to be an independent contractor and work when they want to work as long as they want to work. And so when you take that away from people, it essentially puts them in a position where they're forced to feel like, well, if this feels like a job, I may as well go back to a job or do something different. Another news article said that nearly 40% of U.S. workers, or more than 64 million people, did some freelance work in the past 12 months, according to a December survey by freelancing marketplace Upwork. Now, just because a person is a freelancer, regardless of what they do, if they're an artist or if they work for a company sparingly, as an independent contractor, it doesn't necessarily mean that a person is equipped to actually work.
Hollywood is through. The music industry is through. All right? The truck driving, that's getting ready to be through. Delivering food, all of that's getting ready to be through because it's all being taken over by AI. Okay? And this is going to leave people bitter. All right? As we just read, all right, there shall be no work for Egypt. That's a part of this economic collapse, or that's going to lead into total chaos taking place on the planet Earth. All right, this is the book. All right, and this is all associated with the time of the Gentiles being ended. Okay, this is the book of Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon, which we're seeing that happening now. You got an eclipse coming up. You got blood moons. You got, weird phenomenons in the heavens. All right, as you got this devil comet, larger than Everest, will streak through the night sky in the coming weeks. There was just some strange phenomenon in Texas, some laser that shot down and started a fire. Okay, So it's all kind of things happening, strange signs and wonders. We'll get back to this, but this is all associated with the end. Okay? But also, okay, so there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of the nations with perplexity, all right, the sea and the waves roaring. And we always go into this word perplexity, all right, aporia, the state of one who is perplexed, all right, and you go to the root word, okay, to be without resources, to be in straits, to be left wanting, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, all right, not to know which way to turn. And everywhere you go on social media, all right, the Lord is putting the spirit on these people to go on there and tell you of their experience. These things are happening so that we can link it to biblical prophecy. Okay, people are what? Without resources. What is a resource? Okay. Necessary things you need, all right, to live. Okay. Okay. A stock or supply of money, materials, assets, all right, funds, wealth, money, riches, all right, foods, all right, supplies, all right, all right. People are what? Being left wanting. All right, people don't have as much as they used to. This is why crime is on the rise. Then you pair that with these illegal immigrants being brought over here. Okay, it's a setup for absolute chaos, man. Okay, so we're living in those times, man. Okay, in the war on food. Okay, the food system is being absolutely decimated. Again, since 2023, or since 2020 till 2023, we've seen, even before 2020, we've seen all kind of food production corporations, all right, being ultimately decimated, burned down, closed down. Farmers are being shut down, all right, because the new way of farming, in order to, save the earth from overheating, okay, that's going to be AI. Biden escalates war on food as thousands of processing plants across rural America forced to close. In a major escalation of the global elite's war on farmers and food, all right, Biden's Environmental Protection Agency is rolling out a draconian, let's look up this word. He two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. They're starting to speak as a dragon, and they put this docile administration, all right, that's just rooted in alphabet and weird and quirky, behaviors, all right, but they're setting them up, all right, to just draw all of this confusion. But synonymously, look what kind of laws are being passed. Again, we always tell you democracies lead to tyrannies. It's always been that way. Draconian, excessive, harsh, and severe. Extreme. All right? Ruthless, oppressive, brutal, cruel. Okay? Biden's Environmental Protection Agency, okay, is rolling out a draconian and needless, all right, new wastewater rule that is designed to put small and mid-sized food processing facilities out of business. So they're putting everybody out of business. Meanwhile, they're hoarding all of the resources to themselves. They're buying up all of this land along with these heathen that are over here. What do you think the end result is going to be? The new rule will centralize U.S. consumers' access to food, allowing major key players, including Gil Bates, the gates of hell, and Tyson Foods, which recently announced its transition, all right, to producing insect-based products. See, this is all a part of their goal to, save the earth. Okay? To monopolize the vital market and drive the price of products they deem inappropriate. For example, traditional grass-fed beef, all right, to prices out of reach of ordinary consumers. All right, so to get real foods is going to be super high. All right, but they have a solution. All right, this is why Tyson, all right, which, again, when it's all said and done, only a few corporations are going to have jurisdiction over the food that's being produced. And they will have their hands in rule with it. See, if a farmer is able to farm, all right, then someone, all right, has access to natural food. Someone has a middleman to go to. All of that's being destroyed. Okay? If you look at what's happening in the world. Okay? Tyson Food announces partnership with insect ingredient companies. Okay, so a lot of the foods that we're eating, all right, they're not even real foods. Okay, and they're slowly but surely doing this, and then when you look on the back of the package, it'll tell you, natural flavoring or natural this or natural that. Is really ultimately no way around the hell we're in. We just need the Lord. All right, but Tyson Food Incorporated, the processed chicken giant, has announced that it has reached an agreement with Prophetic, an insect ingredient company. Why? Why are they doing that? All right. This report, so it says, so be aware that if you buy store-bought food of the processed variety, there may be insect ingredients lurking in the formula. All right. As the globalists move full steam ahead with their bug food agenda. You think that they just talking? Let's get the book of Joel. Well, we're in hell, man. Y'all thought it was a joke? All right, keep playing. Starvation and drought. This is what they're bringing. As I saw this one video. Yeah, global famine. That's what they're bringing. A systematic famine. Okay? And that's described in the Bible. They're going to be able to ration out foods. This is the book of Joel 1:15. Alas, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. All right. And as a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. Is not the meat cut off before our eyes? Yea, joy and gladness from the house of our power. Yeah, it's being cut off right before our eyes. The seed is rotting under their clods because of these weathering patterns. They have the ability to use their left hand weather modification, manipulation to, crops are being destroyed. Farmers are being shut down. All you have to do is look it up. Okay? Farming shutdown. All you have to do is look it up. War against humanity. Netherlands to shut down 3,000 farms. All right, you have protests and wars. The last day of American dairy farm. Hard to believe it's over. German farmers strike. A sign of a wider dissatisfaction. Why is Gil Bates buying up U.S. farmland? Well, on these farmlands that they're buying up, as they're shutting down regular farms, all right, they're growing genetically modified crops, and they're even putting the juice, okay? They're putting the juice in particular, okay, of these, the makeup of a lot of these herbs and plants, okay? You think we just making that up? Just look at the title, and this is not, medical information. We're just in the news, but as you can see, all right, plant-based vid, okay? They're putting it in the food. Certain people are trying to fight against it. All right, a lot of it was taken off of YouTube, but all right, you go to platforms like Rumble, I guarantee you it'll be there. Okay. Yeah, edible. Yep. There we go. Now you can get an edible one. Just look it up. It's this there. 10 days ago. Intentionally injected where? Into fruits and vegetables. Joel 1:17. The seed is rotten under their clods. The garners are laid desolate. The barns are broken down. The corn is withered. Corn is literally the worst thing you can eat nowadays. The barns are broken down. The farms are being destroyed. How do the beasts groan? All right. The herds of cattle are perplexed because they have no pasture. Yea, the flocks of sheep are made desolate. Okay, so things are getting bad. Let's get the book of Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, because this is the situation we're getting ready to be in. All right. Habakkuk 3:17. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, the fields shall yield no meat, the stock shall be cut off from the fold. All right. And there are no herds in the stalls. Yet will I rejoice in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. I will joy in the God of my salvation. So the Lord is going to make a way. See? Well, we can clearly see all of these issues being presented. All right. And these are issues that people have to depend on for their everyday life. Okay. These ain't just small issues. This is how people make their money. This is how people buy. This is how people sell. And it's all being affected. People are in fear of their lives. Crime is that, so again, problem, reaction, solution, man. Okay. Even though the fig tree has no blossom, there are no grapes in the vines, though the olive crop fails, the fields lie empty and barren. Even though the flocks die in the fields and the cattle barns are empty, right? The production is shut down. Okay. It talks about how the things are going to get so bad because there's nobody to till the ground. All right. It's getting ready to get bad out here, man. Okay.
The World Economic Forum have escalated their war on food, ordering world governments to replace human farmers with AI-controlled so-called smart farming. According to Bill Gates, who suddenly and unexpectedly became America's largest owner of farmland last year, farmers are now part of the useless class.
And don't forget, he owns these fast food corporations, the fries that they sell, the potatoes are grown by this guy. Although it's not him, he's behind it all. And it's a genetically modified potato with more sugar. This is why people, all right, and diabetes is high. Okay, so if you can buy up more farmland, all right, the majority of the places that you go and get your food from, all right, eventually he'll have a hand in it. And what do you think he's going to fill it with love? He's going to follow the laws? No. These are the Satanists. See, this situation that we're in is not just normal. It's not low level. No, we need help. Rid me from the hand of these strange children. Okay? Psalms 94:18. When I said my foot slippeth, all right, because in Habakkuk it also says, though we in this situation, all right, we're going to rejoice in the Lord, right? Then it says, the Lord is my strength. He will make my feet like hinds' feet. He will make me walk upon mine high places. All right. So ultimately the Lord is going to we're going to be in a difficult situation, but we're going to stand. We're going to be good. Like when you see those ibex, on the side of those mountains, the Lord has designed their feet, to be in league with the side of that mountain, to grip it to where they're although it looks impossible, hey, they're good. Well, that's how the Lord is going to do us. See? Psalms 94:18, when I said my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Yahweh, held me up. See? In the multitude of my thoughts within me, all right, thy comforts, all right, in the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul, all right? Knowing the kingdom is going to come, man. Knowing this ain't the end all be all. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, that which frameth mischief by a law? And as all of this wickedness is going on, Jake is still preparing to vote. They gathered themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemned the innocent blood. But Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is my defense, the God, and my God is the rock of my refuge.
Of humans, and needs to be phased out and replaced with controllable AI. Bill Gates and the World Economic Forum have escalated their war on food, ordering world governments to replace human farmers with AI-controlled so-called smart farming. According to Bill Gates, who suddenly and unexpectedly became America's largest owner of farmland last year, farmers are now part of the useless class of humans and need to be phased out and replaced with controllable AI technology to fight climate change and improve the state of the world. But unfortunately for Gates, we have stone-cold proof that he's not supporting work on agriculture for the benefit of the world at large. On the contrary, Gates is attempting to seize control of the global food supply and hold humanity to ransom for his own benefit and the benefit of his globalist collaborators.
See, they're going to hold you ransom. Ultimately, you're going to have to go to them. Okay, and this is that Revelation, the 6th chapter. Okay. Revelation 6 and 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, which we know black is, dark times, And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Look up this word, balances. All right. It's pretty much represents what? Zygos, a yoke. All right, a burden, slavery. Okay, and we've already suffered hardcore slavery. Now they're trying to take not only us, but the world into another form of slavery. They now have everybody in slavery through debt. All right, but now they're going to use the resources of the earth to draw you into this bondage. And then again, the solution is going to be to enter into this new world, all right, where this is how you buy, this is how you sell, this is the new job, this is what we do. We have to limit you, all right, to these 15-minute cities where everything is available for you. This man is out of his damn mind. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. The oil and the wine is symbolic of the truth. All right, but ultimately there's going to be a food rationing, a famine. All right, a measure of wheat for a penny. All right, the word measure is choinix or koinix. Okay, just to get to the point, as much as will support, all right, a man of moderate appetite for a day. Okay, so living in excess and having your refrigerators full of groceries that you just throw away, those days are getting ready to go. They're already gone. All right, they're going to ration out food to you. All right, and a certain amount of money is going to get you a certain amount of food that's basically, can feed up, a soldier who was at war, as we just read. Let's read it again. All right. As such as would support a man of moderate appetite. All right. For a day. All right. A moderate appetite, meaning you don't eat much. Okay. All right. When these particular countries, all right, send their soldiers to war, there's a certain amount of food that they get a day and nothing more, because again, there's a budget with it. So a measure of wheat for a penny, all right, the word penny is denarion, containing 10, all right. From the parable of the laborer's vineyard, it would seem to that the denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. So, all right, a certain amount of money is going to get you a certain amount of food at the end of the day. And we know that this system is set up with oppression. This is another form of bondage, forming all of the resources to themselves, all right, leaving the people without, shutting down farming, creating these new foods you're going to have to rely on, creating a new world.
Before we dive in, subscribe to the People's Voice. While they own our land, and for some reason we are happy because we own nothing. Gates is currently traveling the world, spreading his own brand of globalist propaganda amid the elite's war on agriculture, in which the usual suspects are seeking to seize total control of the global food supply. The world's leading billionaire eugenicist is currently in India, the scene of some of his most brutal crimes against humanity, including barbaric medical experiments on orphan children that would have made Nazi scientist Joseph Mengele blanch. Gates has been meeting with WEF-compliant politicians during his trip, praising India's world-leading digital ID system that's been forced on the population against their will by the elites. While the digital ID is not mandatory, citizens are unable to access many basic goods and services if they refuse to comply with the invasive technology. Gates has also praised India's experiments with his AI-driven smart farming, writing in Gates' notes that world governments must follow India's lead in...
And India is known for its farming and agricultural system. But again, you know, he goes over there and this is what follows.
Embracing his new technology. In Gates' vision of the future, the world government will have total control over every farm on the planet. I got to see India's DPI in action when I toured an agricultural monitoring centre. Gates enthused. At this facility, government agriculture experts send advice and real-time updates to 6.5 million farmers via phone. I can't think of anything worse than having the government on speed dial sending me real-time orders every single day via phone. But this is the future if Gates gets his way. But it gets even worse. Gates' smart farming technology is designed to replace farmers, not support them. Gates isn't only trying to bring the government into everybody's home and workplace, he's trying to radically depopulate the world and replace human farmers with AI-controlled technology. The ETC group recently published a report which exposed the global elite's plans to seize control of the food supply and hold humanity to ransom. Titled Food Barons 2022, Crisis Profiteering, Digitization and Shifting Power, the report reveals that the holy grail for Bill Gates involves eradicating the vast majority of farmers. Tech giants are becoming prime players in food, handling the data, networking, and AI that undergirds the newly digitized food chain, the ETC group wrote in the report while
digitized food chain.
Describing the dream farm of the technocrats is a farm of one, where
technocrats.
Humans are discarded and technology does all the work for the elites. Every leading agrochemical company offers its own digital AG platform, marketed to farmers as a way to transform on-farm data into savings that will ultimately increase farm profitability. The holy grail, they say, is a farm of one, where a single farmer, data manager, equipped with many thumbs perhaps, can log onto a connected device, watch as the algorithms calculate input prescriptions based on data collected from in-field sensors and hyperspectral imaging, and then send those prescriptions to a fleet of contracted drones that will dump herbicide, fungicide, fertilizer, growth regulator, or other inputs into just right dosage for each plant growing in the field. According to the mainstream media, none of this is suspicious. Not even the fact that Gates has seized control of the world's seed banks. Unfortunately for the media, the people are waking up and rejecting their propaganda in record numbers. After this quick break, we will reveal how Klaus Schwab's vision of a new world can be defeated. And those who are...
it can only be defeated through Yahweh Shai. See? and he's just one of your problems. The gates of hell. But what does the scripture say? I love reading this. Matthew 16 and 18. It says, this is the Lord speaking to Peter. It says, and I say unto thee, Matthew 16 and 18, thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. It's the tabernacle of David. Okay. And the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. All right. When you look at this word gates, Gates represents leadership. Leadership. All right, Pule. All right, town, temple, metaphorically, the access or entrance to any state. The gates of hell likened to a vast prison. And that's what they're setting up, a prison planet. You see? They're setting up a prison planet. And it's very interesting that this guy has this name, you know, all right, Gates. But it's the gates of hell ain't going to prevail. Okay? But everything's dying. You know, there's a war on everything that we see. I mean, salmon deaths. All right? It's just everything's dying. It's like, God damn, man. We, you know, the goddamn insect food. And when you hear it, you think it's a joke. We ain't got to worry about that. Okay. Let's see here. It says a twofold investment agreement forged between Tyson and Protex will allow the processed food industry to hide newfangled bug ingredients in their labels by creating an efficient and sustainable system of insect protein, all right, for the entire global food system. Using a direct equity investment, Tyson will acquire a minority stake in Protex to help fund its massive global expansion, creating a steady supply of insect and bug ingredients that will be forced on the entire planet except for the food plates of the ones in rulership. Of course, who will still be fine dining on steak and caviar to their empty hearts content. Okay? So here we go. And that's basically they're looking at us as livestock, you know, and then they're going to go ahead and seal the deal by branding you with a digital tag. Okay, so, hey, you know, Isaiah 10:1, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they have prescribed, you know. And these are all unrighteous decrees, but they're able to, you know, put these things in play. Okay? So, look at the confusion, you know. Teacher sacked for refusing to treat 8-year-old girl as a boy. Australia signs WF treaty to close all major banks and to switch fully to a cashless society. This is where we are. Macron's wife is a man I have proved. Look at that thing. Of course they are. Biblical experts warn of imminent blood moons because this thing is getting ready to end, man. Okay? Tyson Food firing all white employees and replacing them with illegals. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's too much. State Department warns of extinction level threat due to rise of AI. Gym bans woman who complained about man shaving in his locker room. Oh, man. All right, man. So, you know, there's other articles I had, other things, but, you know, we'll bring it back, you know. Elon Musk claims SpaceX Starship will take humanity to Mars, man. These people are absolutely insane. Rid us from the hand of these strange children, Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, please. Putin warns deep state that Russia is ready for nuclear war. We know wars, you know, that's another big part of end time prophecy. WEF member demands 94% fewer human feet on planet to reach 2030 agenda. And this is what they're doing. Scientists discover alien sauce hidden in the blood of juiced people. Yeah, it's not alien, but it's damn sure wicked, as they're trying to change you into a whole nother, species. Trudeau regime to ban Christianity in Canada under new radical hate speech law, which we went into that. C763, something like that. Jeff Bezos caught funding web project to force Americans to eat carcinogenic fake meat. Belgian citizen jailed for sharing offensive memes to friends. Biden to deploy National Guard to begin illegal door-to-door gun confiscation in America. So what are they setting you up for? What's coming? What do you get from all of this? Oh, man. And we can go on and on and on. Yeah, more children being molested. Clinton's friend and pastor charged with raping adopted Haitian children. Oh, really? Oh, are you surprised? Gates partners with Bezos to build vast network of fake meat laboratories. What's wrong with real meat? Urges government to replace farmers with AI smart farming bots. So the scriptures told you, and then shall that wicked be revealed. You can't see him for who he is? Look at this guy. Netanyahu vows we will finish the job in Gaza. Oh, man. Lawmaker warns that TikTok ban will allow elites to ban independent media. All right, we'll be back with more. Hopefully I'll edify. Shalom.